guys, it's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match analysis from the match yesterday between Barcelona and Las Palmas, where Barcelona do suffer their third league defeat of the season, and could it be time to call for a crisis? So of course, we'll be also discussing 5 key things that we did learn from this game as well. You're probably wondering where I am. Don't worry about it. We keep the push moving. But before we get into it, of course, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. Also, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, the first thing that we learned from this match is a new problem that has emerged out of Barcelona, and that is the players failing to trust each other. We talked about players individually in the last analysis video about lack of concentration, but now them not only lacking concentration but trusting in each other as well is becoming a big concern. You can see here the SofaScore ratings for the team's performance: 6.69 overall performance rating, not too great. See some stinkers there from Fermin, from Jules Kounde, Inaki, Pena, Kubarsi, and Pablo Torres' number are a bit, inflated due to, different circumstances. But again, Inaki Pena's number there, very, very scary for a game where he wasn't that much involved. And Kounde's number very low for a game where he was quite involved. But if you take a look at some of the stats from this match, firstly, the average positioning of the players. On the right hand side is the starting lineup, and on the left hand side is with the substitutions coming in. Left hand side, you can see again very, very narrow approach from Flick. Yet again, Lewandowski, Raphinha, Fermin, Torres all occupying that middle of the park, and we don't have wingers like Ferran Torres, Lamine Yamal from the get-go. You suffer with we saw during the game as well, Fermin, Lopez, and Raphinha interchanging, Torres, Fermin interchanging, which of course you like the fluidity, of course, but nobody is holding with, which of course nullifies everything going forward. That's why it's quite easy for Las Palmas to defend in their 4-4-2 mid block, and also that's why passes in the final third were slipping, because there's no spaces to exploit those difficult passes. Right hand side with the substitutions coming in, of course, how Victor's positioning is quite hilarious, of course, chucked in there the last few seconds. But Lamine Yamal, of course, did play 45 minutes. You can see there him hanging on the right hand side. Gerard Martin, of course, playing 70 minutes plus. You can see how advanced he was as well. Ferran Torres, again, very close to Lewandowski, coming in as a left winger, and that is the issue. You don't have any depth whatsoever. You're only relying on Lamine Yamal. Again, he's still coming back to fitness. Once he comes back to fitness, he'll absolutely be flying, but you're relying on him to be the main outlook yet again. Now, if you look at the stats from this match, 70% possession for Barcelona, 2.32 XG, only scoring 1 goal, very shite. 1 big chance created, 27 shots, while 1 goalkeeper saved, 7 corner kicks, 7 fouls, 618 passes attempted, 9 tackles, 11 free kicks. You can also see on the right hand side the heat concentration of where the ball was spent in the majority for this match, and you can see Barcelona in their attacking third, middle of the park. No, look at the final third. It's as dark as you can get, especially for where Barcelona should be spending the majority of the game. Very, very annoying. 1 big chance miss in this game, 43 touches in the penalty area, which is very, very low in my opinion. 5 fouls in the final third with 2 offsides as well. Now, if you look at the concentration where the ball was spent during this game, 40% was in the middle of the park, 40% in the Las Palmas half, 16% in the Barca half. The ball was only spent 16% of the time, but we still conceded 2 goals. Of the 618 passes we attempted, 546 of them were accurate, 21 throw-ins, 75 final third entries, 80% of our final third phase as well completed, 56 long balls completed, 56% success rate with the long balls, 29% success rate with the crosses as well. You can see in the middle there the shot map for Barcelona, 27 shots in total, 8 only on target, which is quite low for a game that you are chasing. Hit the woodward once, 7 shots off target, 12 shots blocked. I know the players can't stop that, but it is so annoying to see when the player opens up space, doing nice movement when they should pass it, but they shoot it and it's blocked. Very, very frustrating in my opinion. 18 shots inside the box with 11 outside the box. Only won 48% of our duels, which is quite low. Yet again, early 57% success rate. Touches won as well, 67% success rate. Now, I think it's probably time to discuss what Flick said after the game, because after a loss, I think it's more important to cover what Flick says. Of course, after we win, kind of says the conservative, boring stuff here, but here we got some good words from him, and it gives an insight as well on the trust issue in the team. Flick, the gaffer, came out saying we didn't play well. The team tried to get a good result, but today was not our day. We were not effective and did not take advantage of our chances that we had. We created some chances in the second half, but usually we create more. Then asked 3 consecutive games now without a win in the league, what's happening? And Flick said, when we control games, we can play well and create chances. When we don't, we have a problem. Before it was easy to create chances and score goals, but now it's not like that. Fantastic point. When Barcelona are not the dominant team, when we fail to control a game, we look lackluster completely, and also, of course, in those chances as well. If it doesn't go our way in the beginning, it's not going to go our way in the end, which is so frustrating to watch as a fan. Today, we could have played better as a team. The team tried to improve the results to play as good as they can, and we created several chances, but we couldn't convert. We dominated possession and had a lot of shots as well. In defense, it's not just about the back line, it's also about looking at the team as a whole. We must not leave space for the opponent. We had 22, we shot 22 times. We have to score goals, and defensively, what they did today has nothing to do with what we did earlier in the season. We are very disappointed. So even saying the defending has changed from Barcelona. Now, this is because, we're on the hype train, flick ball, champagne, we love it. Is it because we're on high on results? Are we burnt out? That for me is the burning question, which I believe Flick hopefully will answer in the future, but of course I cannot ask him that. It's not easy. The team is full of young players. We have to be better against Mallorca on Tuesday. Again, the team full of youngsters is a very Xavi-esque trademark excuse, but I guess you gotta roll it out sometimes. In terms of players, we have a good team. Things like today can happen. It's normal when someone returns from injury, he does not perform at the same level. Again, this is an answer to Lamine Yamal. I have no issue with Lamine Yamal playing poorly. He had an absolutely stinker of a cameo. Of course, nothing was going through his way, but the fact he hasn't played almost over a month, I believe, I think against Mallorca from the start, he will look much fresher, so to speak. If some players feel disconnected, things are not going well, we have to talk about it. Normally, we should have won a match like this. When I arrived, I've always said that I wasn't going to make excuses. We have to accept the situation and continue moving forward as a team. My method is to fix this, to trust the players and make them trust themselves. We have to talk with the players. I also talked about Olmo saying he has some minor discomfort, hoping he can play later on. Again, the issue in this game was about the lack of trust. When players are making, runs and movements in behind, and they fail to not only see their teammate, but they fail to also trust their teammates in those passes. Let's say, for example, I'm Pau Cubarsí. Gerard Martin is wide open on the left-hand side. He can run down the byline, put a cross in, or I can make the easy pass to Lamine Yamal. Who am I going to pass to? I'm not going to risk it with Gerard Martin because he's dropped 10 out of 10 stinkers so far, or I can give it to the wonder kid, Lamine Yamal. Those key areas are where the issues comes in. If you watch the game, you can see so many areas where players were in open positions, but the player on the ball failed to execute the pass. Why? I don't know. Trust issues, concentration issues, I have no idea. Now, of course, despite the fact we did lose this game, it could have been a better result by many of the different ways. One of them, of course, with the freaking referee. How this was not a penalty on Cubarsí is beyond me. I'm not here to complain, biatch and moan. That's not my thing here. We lost, we took the L, we move, but I do want to highlight this as well because Flick did mention this in the press conference, and we still don't have an answer of why Lewandowski his goal was not allowed against Sociedad. Took them about a month and a half to charge the Madrid fans for the racist chance against Lamine Yamal and Raphinha, which took them only 24 hours for the ones against Atletico Madrid. There is a bit of a pattern here, so I just want to highlight it very quickly. As you can see here, clear and utter foul on Cubarsí. He was running towards the ball, and guess what the referee said? Movistar, of course, has audio in the game and stuff like this. The referee had the nerves and balls to go up to Cubarsí saying that, the defender didn't see you. So if I'm running and I just whack someone in the face, I didn't see him. I was just swinging for the races, and I was just feeling a bit crazy, and I managed to hit them. I didn't see him. What has football come to? Seriously, I'm disappointed at this because we could have gotten a draw. We did not deserve to win this game. I don't think even if we got a penalty, we would have won this game. But a draw was there for the taking for sure. A point is better than 0, and I think the referee here did have a good play in costing us a point. Not only this, but also for the Pau Victor chance as well. Shirt being pulled down. Why is this not a penalty? He was about to get the ball. Would he have scored or not? I have no idea. Maybe he would have hit the bar, hit the post. Goalkeeper Silson was on a mad one. You don't know that. But he's running through on goal. He's about to control the ball and gets pulled down fully. Why is this not a penalty? Why is this not being reviewed? Again, Archivo, VAR, and Carcel, the two very strong outlets in regards to VAR decisions, both came out saying that both scenarios were a penalty for Barcelona, that VAR got factually and utterly incorrect. Where's our justification? This for me, maybe in the moment, okay, whatever, but the Cubarsí one for me is as clear as day. Cubarsí's running towards the ball to make some sort of contact with it. Whether he would have won the header, what happened, I have no idea. Gets stepped on, and of course, after the game, during the play as well, you can see his ankle was bleeding, and he was pointing it out to the referee. And the referee has the balls, the cojones to say, the player didn't see you. I don't know, man, but again, the main issue here, in my opinion, is of course the lack of trust that the players do have in each other. It was quite good to see that during the game as well, and this has to change. I think Flick has to firstly start off by making some key changes in this team. Look at the performances, it's quite clear. The likes of maybe dropping Kounde, dropping Fermin Lopez, maybe moving Gavi outside of the double pivot. So many things can change to change the dynamic of this team. But again, when you bring in 1 or 2 players who have not played in forever, you don't rotate the squad whatsoever. You just do also soon and rotate the whole squad once. It's a concern in my opinion. So hopefully the players can learn to have that fluidity, learn to have that cohesion, and learn most importantly to trust your teammates. Live by the sword, die by the sword. That should be the philosophy that the team do its approach when they do play with each other. Now, the second thing that we learned from this match is that this system under Hansi Flick is desperate for a natural attacking midfielder, and when we don't have that, we see the team suffer. This game screamed, begged for mercy to have Dani Olmo in this game. A player that can make great decisions in the final third, has to strike, can make movements in tight spaces, and can break down low blocks. He's a player that we so desperately missed in this game. The issue that I have is that Fermin Lopez, in my opinion now, is no longer a suitable replacement for Dani Olmo in these types of games specifically. You know, from 9th place down in La Liga, Fermin Lopez struggles against these teams. Why? Because in a low block, it's difficult for him to break through the lines, and that's why you see him cracking shots and trying Trivela passes left, right, and center. Also, I feel like from last season, Fermin Lopez, maybe there's more expectation on him to score goals after his great, breakout year last year. There is maybe a bit more of the expectation. I think Fermin Lopez tends to turn up in the big games very, very well. Look at every big game from last season until now when he's turned up, when he's played well. Except I would say probably the Clasico from this season, the first half. Quite stinky there. Apart from that, he's turned up. Why? Because the play is open, because both teams are going for it. When Las Palmas' priority is to defend, it's going to be an issue. Even the Las Palmas player came out when they were coming out for the second half. The player was speaking to La Liga saying, we're thoughts like, our game plan's going well. We're going to sit back, hold it up, and maybe try and nick a goal. That's everyone's game plan against Barcelona, unless maybe you're Sociedad at Villarreal, maybe Mallorca on Tuesday, especially when they're at home, when the dynamics change. That's where Fermin Lopez struggles the most. And that's where Dani Olmo comes in, and he's so good. And again, we knew about this in the summer. This man is injury prone beyond belief. He plays 2 games, has a discomfort, 2 games out for a month. It is very, very inconsistent, and the issue is Fermin Lopez is not a Super Bowl replacement for Dani Olmo, in my opinion, for majority of games. And if you even bring out even the tactic board here just to show you guys as an example, the issue is when Fermin Lopez starts here, Raphinha's going to run it inside, Balotelli's going to be talking deep here, trying to create his space here. He has basically no room to maneuver, and also on top of that, he has defenders here, and here. And at back 5, the 4 in behind him as well. He has no area to move and create, because that's not Fermin Lopez's style. I think he's kind of a player, picks up the ball, runs into channels, and create chances and shoot. He's not one to start on the right-hand side, create chances inside, or vice versa, or from the middle as well. That's the main issue with Fermin, and that's why Dani Olmo is a more suitable replacement for him. And that's why Dani Olmo, we paid the big bucks for him, and that's why he looks so good in every single game he's played this season. He's looked fantastic. Probably maybe apart from Sociedad and Celta Vigo, where he did of course start on the left. So this of course is going to be a big change that at least to look out for as well. I think, in my opinion, Flick should look at other alternatives for Fermin Lopez in the event that Dani Olmo cannot play in these types of games. Maybe try Gavi in the 10, Pablo Torre, of course. Definitely not Pedri, but maybe try one of those 2 options as well. Or maybe Ferran Torres and behind, start Raphinha in those games. Players who are used to playing week in, week out against a mid-low block and have the ability to exploit it, where Fermin Lopez kind of fails at that a little bit. Now, the third thing that we learned from this match is that Gavi, Pedri double pivot does not work whatsoever. The reason why it does not work, in my opinion, is because they're 2 very, very similar types of profile, in the sense that their mindset is the exact same. Press, find areas, find space, progress the ball forward. None of their first instincts is to win the ball back, interceptions, tackles. Of course, both these players have the ability to do that, but we saw in the game that there is an issue in that regard. I will show this here yet again on the map. So let's say, for example, this is how we set up, of course, in the 4-2-3-1. Get again, Balotelli a bit inside here. Here's what happens. So when we're in, when the keeper has the ball here, and Las Palmas trying to be off in the back, what's Barcelona's first instinct as a midfielder? Press. So you see Pedri will play in his A position and press forward. What's Gavi thinking? Oh, I'm not an actual pivot. I'm sitting as a double pivot. So one of us is going to be saying back when I was saying going. And he'll be ended up hovering and finessing somewhere in this area. This is how Las Palmas scored the first goal against us. One pass from Silicon to the center back through the lines, and boom, they were in a 2v2 because Gerard Martin's all the way over here. Kounde is at freaking no man's land, as he tends to be, and it was a 2v2 with Kubarsi and Inigo. And this is why, again, in these midfield areas, you need someone with the tactical mindset of a pivot. And who would that be in a game like this? Of course, Marc Casado. And are now Barcelona becoming Casado in the Pensio? We talked about Lamine Yamal in the Pensio over the past few games. Are we now becoming with that with Casado as well? It's quite clear that Barcelona have such key pieces to their starting team and no suitable options to replace them. With Lamine Yamal, of course, everyone was kind of injured at the same time. I can let that slide. But now with Casado going out injured, who do we have? Frankie, difficult. Gavi, difficult. Christensen's injured. Eric Garcia, I don't know if you just trust him or not, because in a game like this, for example, if let me just get the scoreboard up here. If you get Frankie de Jong in a position like this, there you go. You have a little bit more stability, because when Pedri is pressing here, Frankie de Jong will have the awareness to maybe sit back here and cover these channels. Of course, he's not the best at it. I'm not saying he's our solution whatsoever, but you saw in that game when he came on after taking off Gavi, we had a bit of control. Of course, they still scored on the counter-attack because of a flimsy mistake by Kubarsi, but the most important thing there is that the control was regained, and that's what Barcelona missed with Casado. Especially against low block teams that have that control in the midfield, that have that awareness to win tackles and interceptions, that's going to be a huge asset. And now since Bernal is out for the season, we have no option whatsoever that has that kind of mindset. We'll wait and see how Christensen maybe adapts to that position. Will now Eric Garcia have to push back in the midfield, even though we kind of need some center back rotation? I have absolutely no idea what the solution is. There's so many answers, but what's clear to me is that in this game that we learned that a Pedri Gavi double pivot does not work. You can have Gavi, Frankie, Gavi, Casado, Pedri, Casado, Pedri, Frankie, but them two together does not work. Of course, they can still play in the same team. You can have Gavi in the 10, Gavi out on the left. No problems there whatsoever because it's a different role, different idea, but both in the double pivot does not work, especially against big opponents. Now, the fourth thing that we learned from this match is that Inaki Pena is shite. This man, I have had it up to here with him. A year and a half now, this BS. I've had enough. Yes, oh, he played well against Atletico Madrid last season. Oh, did well at the Bernabeu in the Clasico. Oh, yes, credit where it's due. Saved us in the Celta Vigo game. This man is just not reliable. He's not consistent whatsoever. If you take all the compilation of his performances this season, it's probably a 9.5 out of 10 shite. And I need someone to get into Flick's head. It is time for a movement. Look at this twat on the second goal. What in God's green earth is that? Make a dive. It's a savable attempt. Even okay, if he saves that and the player here on the left-hand side gets a rebound, all right, whatever. You did what you do. Maybe you can say parry somewhere else, but whatever. What is that? This absolutely killed the momentum for Barcelona. Raphinha just scored. We were getting into the game. We were progressing forward much better. We were creating chances, and then all of a sudden, he absolutely kills us. I think that goal is 90% his fault because it is a savable attempt. Of course, the Sandro goal, difficult. If he dove and had his angles right, could have made a different story. I'll let that one slide. But that goal for me is beyond criminal. And again, what is the point of starting Szczesny? You brought him in, experienced. It is time now. So as I said at the beginning, we're doing well. Inaki Pena is doing okay. There's no need to change. There is more than enough need now to make that change. I always said that it's difficult to bring in a new goalkeeper in the middle of a big run. Will Hansi Flick do this, by the way? Absolutely not. We are stuck with Inaki Pena until at least the end of the year, 1,000,000,000%. But if he has balls, if he has cojones, he'd bring Szczesny in. I understand that Szczesny has not played football in about 6 months at a high competitive level. I don't care. I don't think that Szczesny, 6 months break, cigarette in the dressing room, probably puts in a better shift than Inaki Pena. Genuinely, I'll be a bit worried about Szczesny, his runs out, him on the ball, but shot stopping, full faith in him. And that's what, of course, the main priority of a goalkeeper is to save. Yes, building out is nice and also very important for Barcelona, but I've had enough of Inaki Pena. This man is just not consistent, not reliable whatsoever. He'll drop one good performance, everyone will glaze him. 5 stinkers, and people say, oh, time to go. 1 good game. Oh, Inaki Pena is the future. Oh, you gotta renew his contract. Oh, this, all that. 5 stinkers later, it is just pathetic. It is pathetic that Barcelona have a goalkeeper of this level that they cannot rely upon whatsoever. This is why Ter Stegen always manages to save himself, because he'll have a couple stinkers, but he'll pull off unbelievable saves. Because as a Barcelona goalkeeper, 9 times out of 10 in games, you're rarely in action. You probably have to just pull up 1 good save to stop a counterattack, stop a good chance for the opponent team, and keep your team in it. People always talk about that with big team goalkeepers. Their concentration has to be on point. And his concentration is beyond shite. Get Szczesny in this team pronto. And the fifth and final thing that we learned from this match is how much of a captain Raphinha is. Look at this performance for a Barcelona 2-1 loss. 8.8 SOFA score rating, 90 minutes. Of course, you can see from his heat map playing basically all alone on that front line. He was playing on the right, of course, went to the left for about like 7 minutes, and then played in the 10 for the majority of the second half. Played 90 minutes, 1 goal, 73 touches, 74% pass accuracy, 5 key passes, attempted 5 crosses completed, 2 of them, attempted 2 long balls completed, 1 of them, 1 big chance created, 3 shots on target, 1 off target, 1 block, attempted 5 dribbles and completed 3, hit the woodwork once, attempted 9 ground duels and won 5 of them, also committed 1 foul, and it was fouled himself twice. This is a captain-esque performance. When your team is down in the dust, who's going to bring them out? It's Rafa. The goal is fantastic as well. He now has more goal contributions this season than he did the entire of last season. This man is on a Ballon d'Or-esque charge performances. The issue is this team is just not getting him results. But I loved what Raphinha said after the game. We've been doing poor lately. We're lowering the level of what we are doing. There are many things that we are doing wrong, and we had to turn things around on Tuesday. I'm angry. I don't even care about the goal that I scored. This, for me, screams elite mentality, and this is something that, thank God, Barcelona have. And for a player that last season was kind of, under the radar, maybe had the research in February, to now being the captain on the pitch, exquisite. And the fact that he didn't even give the armband to Frankie during the game as well shows how much of a demon time he was on. Where this club would be this season without Raphinha, for me, is a big question. We talked about Lamine Yamal being the most important player for Barcelona. I think system-wise, Lamine Yamal is, but mentality and leadership-wise, it might be Rafa. This man has been sensational for us this season, and this is, I think, one of the only positives we can take out from this game. That when we're down the dust, we're down bad, we need someone to claw us out. Raphinha can be relied upon in that scenario. Not saying he's going to do it week in, week out. Of course he can, but he can be relied upon. We can rely on him to, make that urgency, push the ball forward. Of course, had the free kick that was saved by Silson as well. He was the only one getting the ball, first mindset, goal, go to goal, go to goal, go to goal. Barca's back in the game, and Inaki Pena effed it up. But again, shout out to Rafa's performance, a leader on and off the pitch. So that's the match analysis from the match yesterday between Barcelona and Las Palmas. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well. Let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss, alongside those 5 key points that I also mentioned. Unfortunately, it does suck that we're having 3 defeats already this season to 3 teams that we should have beaten, but hopefully the time will catch up with the rest of the teams as well. Maybe hopefully we're getting our bad results out of the way now. That's just me looking at a bright light, but there are concerns ahead, especially these 2 league games coming up against Mallorca and Betis, both away from home, both very difficult teams, tough, difficult sides. Those are must-win games. If we drop points in 2 of those games, in both those games, we might be cooked, but hopefully that's not the case. But I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca. Yeah.